in esports, in this racing series in OTC, you're going to be rooting for him in real life. And that's someone who has shown a lot of potential in his real life dirt racing. And now, could I say the real life racing is applying here? I would say it could help him choose what line, but again, he's racing on a controller, not much translates over. Maybe if he had a wheel, I feel more translation, but again, you gotta give it to the Pisa. As a DP car, as we saw on our bottom map, did run off. That was Sammy Boy. Or Sammy Boy, let's go. In this race, worked on lap 69. And Hector Garcia continues to dominate. And if I was Hector Garcia, you know, wouldn't he just get bored out there? I mean, he's really just been all lights out here. Really been lights out. This race has gone so far long that I came back with this food on lap 35. Seems like I finished the food a while ago. But again, I don't know how endurance guys, do this. Maybe it's just I'm alone in the booth, but the racing has been enjoyable. I should need someone to talk to. A little back and forth, But I feel like I'm trying to just bring it closer to the action. Close to the action as we just hit the 2-hour mark. Now the question is, can we get to 3? We'll never know. But again, pretty clean throughout this race. No huge incidents to bring out the 40 out of. Very clean throughout. But, I wonder, what Hector Garcia thinks of this race. And, you know what, we're going to send someone down there to get some questions for you guys. What does it take to run these consistent laps and showing one of the most dominant performances in OMA history? Has took the lead around 10 laps into the race, has not looked back. Let's talk to the race leader, Hector Garcia. And Hector Garcia gives it all up to attrition. Attrition. Oh, Vincent, I've mentioned it. But again, Hector Garcia gives it all to attrition. They do it. Oh, and Parker Ness, again, another mistake. Another mistake by Parker Ness. And now there comes Hector past Colati. How is he going to get past this lap traffic? Good. So I'm just testing some audio here and there. But again, Vincent at one point was 2 laps down in this race. He has been catching up and he's trying to unlap himself. He's put on a very dominating performance. And again, Hector Garcia, when we went down to interview him, the 2 most dominant guys in this race, one had an issue and one had a mistake, which he got off the racetrack and hasn't looked. He decided to go home. And again, attrition, you gotta have the right mindset. Landon Lonnevac, after a few mistakes, decided, even though we've seen him consistently faster, now Hector Garcia is bump drafting the 3rd place car in VT of Luca Mazzelli down the front straightaway. But again, you gotta have attrition, and this is what dirt racing is. It sucks to see Mark Boog, who was leading this race early, have that issue early. And same with Landon Lonnevac, having that issue that Landon had. It really just sucks to see, as now the 78 team pull in for their pit stop. Now Sammy Marasco is going to get his lap back, but again, Sammy's going to have to pit here. But again, let's go with another interview here. Why not? And let me get a quote unquote that Vincent is in so much pain from pushing. He has lost his accent. So we talk about attrition and speed. Well, Vincent has both of them. Vincent has both of them. And again, a lot of guys complaining about what's happening in their car with 20 to go here. Vincent's shown pace. He's been able to carry this pace. And again, he is the only independent team, the only team not backed by a factory team. So you gotta give him credit. He's doing this with only a few crew members brought to the racetrack, and he's been able to go from last to mid-pack. And I wouldn't count him out for a podium. The way these guys have been battling for the last podium spot, do not count out, as you start using the echo, but do not count this team out. Do not. They didn't count themselves out, and just for reference, although he's about half the track behind of any podium team, if we have one incident that brings out a caution, he can turn this race on its head. But again, Luca Mazzelli, 7th place. And I just realized he's still in the podium spot. So good for him. Caleb Buckner and Vincent Iacovazzi have been the class of the GT, or has been the class of the GT class. And really, Caleb Buckner, ever since he's gone past Iacovazzi, has just been cleared of anyone behind him as we're coming to 20 to go. 20 to go for these leaders. So now you can hear more of my plate because I made the most of my food. And let's try to get an interview from Parker Nez. Well, you heard it here. You need Luca Mazzelli to wreck himself, but all Luca can wreck is other GT cars. Again, Luca Mazzelli, I'm referring to that incident with Parker Ness coming off the corner, and Parker Ness, ever since that incident, has been drifting off. Parker Ness doesn't think he has the pure pace, but he thinks he can be more consistent. We've seen him been able to pull away from Colin T. He was once behind Colin T. He's pulled away from Colin T. And with that said, he's been able to make less mistakes. While the pace for him has gone a little bit down, there's really no need to worry because the less mistakes Parker has been able to make. Parker Ness being hounded from behind by Sammy Marasco. And we're back, and let's talk about mainly the car who hasn't been talked about, David Hanks. David Hanks really not usually in these positions to finish on the podium, but it's a really feel-good story for the fans at home. And again, more on the Luca Laudenbach, more on the Landon Laudenbach scenario. Again, he didn't think he could catch Hector, and at that point, he just decided to pull it off. He decided, to call it quits. I can't catch who I want to catch. And coming in to pit this lap is David Hanks. David Hanks has decided to come down to pit this time. That is the last strip of the plate, which means it's fit under. We're just coming to 15 to go. It's 74, and with the attrition comes more mistakes. We haven't seen mistakes yet, but again, the more and more we get closer to crunch time when the race comes to the end of this race, is the more we're going to see these drivers start making mistakes. And now everyone is spread out with the closest battle on the racetrack. Really between Yoshi or Parker and Luca. And Luca Mazzelli losing some time here, probably to the thanks of Ryan Miniker hounding his back bumper. Parker Ness has been able to run him down. Now the DPI trying to get, or not the DPI, but you know, it's DPI now, it was DP back then, so about the DP. Getting through these guys out front. And a full course caution is brought out by a 3-car incident. The most we've had is 2 cars this race. Those 2 cars being between Luca and Parker, who are able to resume, to continue to go. Let's go back to Vincent. Let's see how much he's been able to catch up. Again, Vincent does seem like one of the fastest cars on the racetrack as of now. But let's, you know what? Let's actually we can look at that ourselves. You know, let's look at who is the lap time. So, race 7. Nash former gaining some time. Again, Bryce Harvey, the slowest car on the racetrack. A lot of the other guys you don't see lap times for because they DNF'd. A 1:35. David Hinks about 20 seconds slower. MJ Cerullo's second fastest car on the track. That might be an interesting thing to look at. 1:47.7. So interesting enough that that Vincent has the same pace as these guys, kind of this battle we have going on here. And we see it was a 1:38. David Hanks is the slowest of the VPIs right now. Caleb 1:46. So Caleb a lot faster than everyone else. But still a lot faster than anyone else. Coming to round 13 to go. And Parker Ness has caught the lapper of Ryan Miniker. Now the fastest car on the racetrack is Parker. Parker, yes. Your league owner, ladies and gents. He's the fastest car on the racetrack. And again, coming to around 12 to go, 13 to go. A yellow switches everything. Everything. MJ Cerullo is currently the fastest, or the second fastest DP. But again, that might just be up to lap traffic to that point. But the most consistent driver has been the Pizzo. And again, a comeback from at one point being 21st, back up to 10th, missing class. But again, we started this race I thought it was 21 cars, it was 20, so 20 to 10, but that's still very impressive. But we started this race with 20 cars. We currently have 14. We have lost 6 cars on the day. That has been 2 DPIs and 4 GTs. And Parker Ness off the racetrack. And again, another mistake from Parker Ness. He was gaining on Luca Mazzelli, and it's sad to see that all that running, all that time has gone to back to the action. Again, Parker trying to get back around Ryan Miniker once again. Looking, still looking. And Vincent, again, just running electric lap times here. A little bit slower this time around. It looks like the time intervals between everyone's spot. David and Hector are separated by a second. A little time interval doesn't really work when you look at the cars that are lapped down. It doesn't show the time between those 2 cars. Luca Mazzelli again running into more and more issues. But Luca's been able to keep going. Colin Teague is starting to go. But again, Luca Mazzelli with a lot of issues. Let's go on board. And let's gonna ask him about his issues. Interesting team radio for Ryan Miniker. But again, Luca just says he has to try to keep the car together. He's just got to run 20 laps, although even if they're slower laps, he's just got to keep everything together. So kind of take a deep breath in. He'll do fine. We haven't really touched back on your GT leader in a while. That's Caleb Buckner, and he's really been pulling away from Vincent Iacobazzi, Vincenzo Iacobazzi. Many names for Vinny. So Vinny, Vincent, Vincenzo. But again, Buckner, and he told me this before the race, he's got stickers on the front and the back. Well, that Toyota Supra is running very fast. And my request is fulfilled. So in many other leagues, he drives a Toyota Supra. No, there's no Toyota Supra GT. So you know what he did? He put a logo on the front, on the back, and you know what? He calls that a Toyota Supra. It matches every paint scheme he's ever run. So yellow, purple, some red on the side, and he says, you know what? People are gonna know who we are. It's the person with the ugliest paint scheme. And you might say, well, why do you want to be known like that? Well, no matter what, he said, no matter what, people can see us at the racetrack, and it's not a strict environment. We love to have fun over here. That's the meaning for the paint scheme. He has the same number of fun that he has in NASCAR in the OTC number box, and it's a very good environment. Caleb loves it over there. He couldn't ask for more for No U Motorsports. Who runs the division, San Marasco, having a good day. Looks like gonna finish in the overall podium. But again, Caleb, a really dominating performance. You cannot ask for a more dominating performance by him. And remember, at the end of the race, we're going to interview your 2 class winners and who you guys think is going to be the driver of the day. And it seems like Vincent Vipiso might take the crown. So, we'll interview those 2 guys. We might interview Vincent, or if we don't interview Vincent, we will definitely interview both second place runners for both classes. Up front, in front, they're catching Colin Teague, who's running 9th. And they're going to lap up to 9th for GT. That's how dominant Caleb Buckner has been. This is the longest race of the season, so, well, if you have grabbed food, you gotta put it away. We're coming to 9 to go for your overall leaders. And we'll be right back. This is Jeffrey Runka with Jade Sports. We hope you have been enjoying your viewing series. And we're going to take a little pause for you guys here. And we are back. Just under around 7 to go. Coming to 7 to go, just past 8 to go. This race has been one for attrition. So we started at 7 o'clock. It is currently 9:32. And might I add, I think everyone's exhausted. But we're just getting to the end of it. Pitch strategy here, and Hector just hit a 1:34, the fastest lap time of this race. But this is going to come down to see if these guys can make it. Luca currently has the least amount of fuel out of any GT car. A little bit worrying on the pit box of that team. When we ask the crew chief, they're just going to say, they're saying they're going to try to make it to the end, but if they got to pit, they got to pit. They have the gap. They currently have the gap. Come out second in class. They're going to be on the podium no matter what it's at. But they do have Parker Ness sitting there in the wings. Has about half the tank more than Luca has. So the question is, when are they going to pit? When is it good to pit? And when is it just, do you stay out? Do you try to play the strategy of staying out? Luca Mazzelli burning that tank up to dry. As he's using a lot more fuel than Parker Ness. we are back, and we do have a battle on track. It's the teammates. We talked about this. How will the Fords develop? A very long pause. You know, we're trying to discuss with everyone. Luca, it's going to be a fuel mileage race for these DPI guys. Can Sammy make it to the end? A lot of GT cars are starting to pit. Luca Mazzelli's the first one of them to pit. So the question is, can these guys make it to the end? Luca Mazzelli didn't pit. Parker Ness did pit. So for Parker Ness, he's on better tires. He's got to start running as fast as he can because he knows Luca Mazzelli has to pit. He's just got to push. He's got to make sure lap traffic does not get in the way. Looks like Jacob Reed. He got by him. Parker Ness trying to get as much as possible. Yeah, a little bit of contact between both race leaders of both classes. Hector Garcia for GP and Caleb Buckner for GT. Wow, a little bit of a scary incident. That shouldn't affect him too much. Caleb Buckner smoking the rears. And a lot of people close to making it. Ryan Miniker close to making it here. Good trippy tricks here because of Yakavasi. As you can see, he can see the leader of GT right in front of him when he's making that corner. Again, losing that back end. You can just see the wear on these cars. They're almost to the end, but the question is, when will they have the bit here? The main battle we're looking at on track is the four teammates for Team Midstate of Sammy Marasco and NJ Cerullo. Sammy Marasco subbing for Jeffrey Ruck and myself in the Buffalo Wild Wings number 99. And Hector Garcia just says he has to take a piss. He is putting it on pit road. He's automatically going down pit road. The one question is, when he gets out, he's going to be on the racetrack. So this could cost him his... Coming out of pit road, he is invisible. So let's kind of watch how this goes here. And he's too bad. Just as the car gets out, Hector Garcia is back. And Caleb Buckner lags out with only 4 to go. That's sorry for the quietness, but I just got word over the radio. Vinny Yakavasi will reassume the GT lead, and that's just heartbreak. Caleb Buckner leading so many laps to come short. Yakavasi's your leader. Luca's in second. That's going to leave Parker Ness to go on the podium. The battle that was for GT is now gone. I just realized I was muted, but again, we saw on board there Hector Garcia with several issues there. And Caleb Buckner, again, just heartbreak. That's gonna move Material 0. Michelle Raphael into the 13th spot. And again, we talked about this before. Parker Ness looks like he will get a podium. Colin Teague is in the conversation, but he's a little too far back. And here comes the start from Hector Garcia. Heard he might get some bonus points for accomplishing this week. And he's around and kept it going out the wall. Nice job by Garcia. Hector coming to 2 to go. And what can go wrong for Hector Garcia? Seems like nothing. Hector has this in the bag. For Hector, he cannot finish any lower than second place, and he's 2 laps ahead of both Sammy and MJ Sulo. But let's go with your leader of GT, Vincenzo Iacovazzi. Second best car all night. Well, looks like he'll get the win thanks to Caleb having connectivity issues. And again, it's a race about attrition, and not only you can have attrition, but your console, your Wi-Fi needs attrition. And Caleb Buckner, who spent 2.5 hours trying to bring it home in first. It seemed like at one point he was. Seeming like he was going to bring it home. And coming to the white, Hector Garcia, who's dominating this race, has led around 80 laps non-stop in a row. Seems like he will bring it home, and you can't talk about dominance in any way, shape, or form without mentioning Hector Garcia. He's pushed through attrition. He's been able to go from starting second to the lead, third to the lead. While he was third place at one point, the 2 guys ahead of him, he either, just didn't have the attrition all the way, or had technology issues with their car, technical issues that they just couldn't overcome. Running a 134.4, faster than any lap in qualifying. Hector Garcia has pushed his car to the limit, and he only has around half the track left to go. Garcia around the lap car, down the back straightaway for the final time tonight. Going into the Le Mans chicane. Nice and easy, no mistakes. Coming out. Back on to NASCAR, turn 3. Into turn 4. Hector Garcia has led majority of the race, and he's going to lead. Lap 91. He will win the Rolex 2.4. What a race by Hector Garcia. But let's look at your GT leader. Coming to the race end, Vincenzo Iacovazzi was able to get past Caleb Buckner late due to issues with Caleb Buckner's Lamborghini for No U Motorsports. Both No U Motorsports cars had issues, and Vincenzo Iacovazzi is going to bring it home. He's going to burn it down after the line. What a burnout from Vincenzo Iacovazzi, able to capture the victory today in 2 hours and 30 minutes. So not exactly 2.4, but 2.4 for our live stream, and he's burning it down. Iacovazzi drifting around each corner. Your podium for DPI will be Hector Garcia, David Hanksy, and Sammy Marasco. And your podium for GT will be Vincenzo Iacovazzi, Luca Mazzelli, and Parker Ness. And they're just continuing to burn it down. And again, while these guys are still starting to cross the line, just synchronized burnouts for those Sammy Marasco and Iacovazzi. Mazzelli, not Mazzelli, but DiPizzo, just a race. Just honestly, just a race of attrition, able to come back. But let's get some of the guys who made up the podium for some interviews. Well, let's get these guys in here. But a very good race overall. A very good race overall for these guys. Hector. Hasn't been some word from Hector Garcia. He really wishes Boog and Landon didn't lag out. It's been more of a battle for the lead, but again, that's attrition. You got to stay in the race. And as we're starting to get the guys who have made up your podium today, as we were starting to get some guys in here, while we couldn't interview your winner at DPI, let's go on to who our second place finisher of DPI, who's also I have to invite. So let's start with the guy who subbed for my ride, Sammy Marasco. Marasco, how you doing? Well, you stayed in the race. There's a battle between you and your team owner, MJ Cirillo, but overall you had a really good race. But kind of just walk us through the process of you seen DPIs drop out one by one. What was going through your mind? And also you made a big mistake early, huge mistake early, which sent you to the back. How were you able to come back from that? Well, nice job, Ren, on the podium. Remember, you're going to be the only DPI interview we're going to get because the two other guys kind of just went off to celebrate the victory lane together. So, congratulations on your top three finish. And with that said, let's go and let's start interviewing. I would say uh, the class that really fought to the end, and Vincenzo Iacovazzi was able to win this class uh, after late technical issues from Caleb Buckner. Vinny, how you doing? It should be automatically. It's just like an update. It's weird. Hmm. And and I know a very confusing feeling for you, but one question: is there anything if Caleb never lagged down, you ended up finishing second. Is there anything you thought you could have done uh, better to try to keep up with Caleb early in the run? We saw you able to hold off Caleb for the lead of GT, and then as soon as Caleb got by you, he kind of just took off. You were there at times, so you just really couldn't get the pass. And if you did pass at one point, he lap or kind of DPs that would catch you, or other lap GT cars would kind of interfere with that battle and let Caleb back through. So is there really anything else you think you could have done better if Caleb was still in this race, in this race? Okay, pause. Yeah, I just got a DM. So well, you know what? Um, yeah, let's kind of we can I guess let's kind of just redo this real quick. So Vincent, just quickly let's do it. So nice job on P2. So you guys could have heard me, but you couldn't hear Vinny. So Vinny, uh, I don't want you to say all that again, but
I can
just quickly say
reiterate
how you
it.
think your day was. Just reiterate it. Yeah.
Um, you know, I could do both your questions. I could have been better
Hmm.
consistency wise. Like I said right before qualifying there, I was running 145 once and 145 twos, not on a consistent basis, but enough to where it was definitely noticeable. And I
Hmm.
qualified pole of 145.7 for the class. I mean, I got to it in the race, a seven, but that was about it. I was running 46s really. But
Hmm.
Caleb really deserved it. He was way more consistent than I was. We were about
Hmm.
even, but it was just, he was putting down consistent laps. I was all over the charts, running a little bit slower than I would have liked to been, and then just certain parts of the
Yeah.
track were better than me than others. I was phenomenal, and I personally, I always am very good through the infield, and then I get to the bus stop and I just can't run it. I just can't get it down. But Caleb had a great car. He should have won. But I'm not. It is a Mickey Mouse, but I'm not going to say if we were to race straight up that either one of us should have won. So I think just the consistency and me just not spinning my tires almost every lap with this car gave me a
Well,
better run.
uh,
But P technically should have been P2, but winning the class is it's definitely a good thing to
yeah.
start the season.
Well, what a victory by you. I'm sure the boss man's gonna be happy. and Sammy Marasco, who, if I'm not mistaken, who manages the OTC part of No You Motorsports. I bet he's celebrating as well with his third place finish. But our second place finish in GT goes to Luca Mazzelli. Arguably had the best paint scheme on track. Luca, do you have a copy? So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, second looked like it would have been third place, but against second place, um, on the racetrack, and you kind of had some people worry, all the Luca Mazzelli fans out there, all the very few Luca Mazzelli fans out there. I'm kidding.
Wow.
I'm kidding. But how are you able to hold off the like of Parker Ness and did you think for a point that Parker could have been able to undercut you and pass you, and how were you able to kind of overcome that scenario and the earlier battles with Parker Ness?
First of all, I want to say great battle to Parker and T this entire race. Honestly, I had so much fun. It just gave me remembrance of season one of OTC, where me and Parker were battling for the championship. And honestly, it felt great. The car was all right. I was able to save a lot more fuel than Parker, it seems, throughout the race, but all of it, well, it came down to just trying to keep the car on the track and not wrecking, which it was a difficult task with the Huracan. The Huracan in the corners was all over the place, but it shined in the straightaways, which I loved.
Hmm.
But honestly, I want to thank also OTC, or not OTC, but OCM for giving me a great race car, and Ryan running the team with Tim and Drew and Eric. I want to thank them all for giving me a shot at the team. And yeah, let's go on to next week.
And sorry for the pause. Third place, Parker and Ness. Just walk us kind of through your day, and at the end of the day, you kind of obviously electing the third place, but again, uh, you ran third in class for us to race. Luke was able to come in late. Just kind of walk us kind of through your strategy late, and is there anything else you think you could have done better to try to get um, third or try to get second in class?
Well, yeah, I definitely made way too many mistakes tonight. Just overdriving the horseshoe and both carousels in that matter. I just overdrove them a lot tonight, and little mistakes throughout the race. So yeah, if I cleaned up my mistakes, I probably would have had a better chance at the end for second place. But a podium is still a podium, and I'll take it any way I can. I just want to say I'm sorry to Caleb Buckner for his unfortunate lag out or his game crash or whatever. He really deserved the win, and I feel bad for about him about it. But yeah, I'll take the podium any way I can. I didn't really have too much hope of being competitive per se, but starting out the season with a podium feels good, and hopefully we can keep this momentum going throughout the season.
Well, nice. Good momentum by you. And hopefully you can carry this momentum into Homestead in Miami. Nice job.
Thank you.
But was our final interview. Probably the best driver all day. Had issues early, which set him about around a lap and a half down. But was able to come back to finish fifth in class, 10th overall. Vincent Di Pizzo. Do you have a copy? Said your name right finally. But so without that spin, is there, or even with that spin, is there anything else you could have think that you could have done better to be able to try to run down the leaders? Hmm. Hmm. Well, nice job. And as we've just are about to hit the 3-hour mark on the stream, thank everyone for watching this long race and the longest race I think it's ever for any OMA sanctioned series. So I hope you enjoyed. This has been Jeffrey Aronka. Make sure to check out next. I'm pretty sure next week, maybe next week, the week after that, for the next OTC race, and as well as next week for the Sports Speak Truck Series on Thursday night. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.